they'd be in trouble, which is crazy because guess who decided to finally meet Loki? None other than Luffy, the man that trouble just always happens whenever Luffy's around. And I'm not gonna lie, Loki's design is freaking gnarly. It looks amazing. One Piece chapter 1130. It is titled The Accursed Prince. I'm not gonna lie, this chapter, it was key. I know a lot of people have been complaining and they weren't the biggest fans of what happened within the last like 2 chapters of Elbaph dealing with Road running away. A lot of people said that it felt like it was filler, and I 100% get that, but this chapter, it was gas. We started off with the crew that is on the ship with the giants. We have Frankie, Brooke, there's Jinbei and Robin. They were originally searching for the Straw Hats, but they're like, bump that, we're calling this search off because, well, they've been in this situation before. Obviously, if they're separated, they're like, hey, we'll just meet them on Elbaph. You know, there's Jinbei talking about his shark network. It's worn out. So, you know, it's just best that we call it this search. We focus on getting to Elbaph, especially because we no longer have anything to eat, anything to drink. So it's best that we get there, recuperate, and we'll meet with them again. Like I said, this happens all the time. Dressrosa, Fisherman Island. Eventually, the Straw Hats make it together. As the Straw Hats busted out of Road's room, they end up looking at a different tree, and just Elbaph in general, there's a bridge. It's, you know, appears to be snowing. It's so beautiful. I definitely love this panel, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought that Oda would have done something crazy, like the Straw Hats would have been falling out of, you know, the building, or like they were on the edge of a castle, which I guess they kind of were, but the fact that they didn't fall off, that's pretty cool, I guess. Something that Oda typically wouldn't have done. As they are getting ready to cross the bridge, the Straw Hats, they go into hiding, and this is because 2 people who are a part of the new giant pirates, they make their appearance. We have Jerd, who is the new giant ship's doctor, and then there's Goldberg, who is the cook. They're talking about how they let Road join because he's a skilled navigator, even though he's a little bit crazy in the head. They mention something interesting. They talk about how even though Loki, they call him the shame of Elbaph, that title really should be for Road, which it makes me wonder if Loki was really this prince that everybody is talking about. Why are so many giants, and they talk about this a little bit later in the chapter, but why are so many of them against Loki? Because if Road is such a whack job, which we kind of seen in the last chapter, that must mean that there's like something significantly wrong with Loki if they're willing to like even have Road on a higher pedestal than him. These 2 giants, they are out looking for intruders. We know that Road, he tends to bring different pirate ships or ships that he sees into his room, so they're out looking for the Straw Hats, not necessarily exactly looking that they know that it's the Straw Hats that they're looking for, but just anyone that makes it out of Road's territory. As they are crossing the bridge, and I love this, how, you know, I talked about this in my Elbaph preview, how I wanted to see how Oda would scale different things compared to the Straw Hats, and obviously they look like ants crossing this bridge, and they have to, you know, make different jumps while they're crossing, but it's just really cool seeing them in comparison to the bridge. And all of a sudden Luffy stops, he's looking around, and he's saying that he's getting goosebumps because he notices something back noticed something back in the block country, and he talks about that there's a roar coming from down there, and Luffy, he jumps down, you know, ahead, ready to go see what's going on. Zoro, he's itching to go as well, and Sanji's like, whoa, slow down, you can't go. But he wasn't enough to stop Luffy. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I pump out different content all the time. Circling back to Robin's group, the news about what happened at Egghead has kind of gotten out. We know how Morgan's is and how he likes to twist different narratives, and the narrative that is going out is that the giants assisted with Straw Hat Luffy and set Elbaph ablaze, and that they were the ones that attacked it, and their bounties increased from 100 million to 1.8 billion, which is an insane increase. Obviously, because of all the time, it would make a lot of sense for their bounty to increase, especially if the narrative is that they were the ones that helped assist with attacking Egghead. And we actually kind of found out why Oda decided to incorporate those that are separated from the giants on the ship and those at Elbaph, because in the image of Luffy as he's in his gear 5th, Robin, she questions, she's like, hey, when Luffy's in his freedom form, why does he have this particular mark on his arm? And everybody's like, oh, well, we don't know. And Robin, she's like, it's blurry, but this seems familiar. And the reason why this mark is there is because obviously Vivi is there with Morgan's, and so everybody that is currently on Elbaph, they were a part of, you know, drawing that X, saying that they're still friends with Vivi. So this is to showcase that Vivi is trying to deliver a message to Luffy, or some way along those lines, trying to get in contact with him. And obviously that's going to have to wait to later in the arc, or maybe even after the arc, of course, because nobody that had the mark on their arm knows that Vivi delivered this message. Really clever. I wonder if that means that Vivi is going to try to link up with the Straw Hats, or if in the next arc, if that's the case, we will see Vivi. I'm all here for it. I know that Vivi's not that strong, I get it, but I actually did enjoy Vivi's time as a Straw Hat. The giants talk about Luffy's success and how he has the same title as Shanks, and how Hadruden, he serves under him, and he says that Rambunctious Brat is the king's own kid, which in my opinion, I guess, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this means that Hadruden is the son of the king. At first I was thinking it was Loki, but that wouldn't be the case, because Loki ended up killing the king, and that's why Loki is called the Accursed Prince. So I guess that also means that Hadruden, wouldn't that mean that he's also a prince as well? Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. But the reason why Loki killed the king and he was sentenced to crucifixion is because he wanted the legendary devil fruit that is said to be passed down through the royal family, and his desire to eat it was so great that he killed King Harold. And based off of Loki's statement and how Elbaph is all about, you know, worshiping the sun god, we can infer that the legendary fruit that Loki was trying to eat was the sun god Nika, or the Hito Hito no Mi. I don't know why I was about to say sun god Nika. We're talking about the Hito Hito no Mi that Luffy had eaten. And it is said that if Loki were to go out and be freed again, that Elbaph, they'd be in trouble, which is crazy, because guess who decided to finally meet Loki? None other than Luffy, the man that trouble just always happens whenever Luffy's around. And I'm not gonna lie, Loki's design is freaking gnarly. It looks amazing. Honestly, I was not expecting something like this. Once again, I thought Oda would have trolled us and gave Loki some kind of whack design or crazy looking design. Nah, he looks menacing. He kind of reminds me of a mixture between Kaido and Doflamingo. He has bandages and he has different shackles around him, obviously because the giants, they had to work together in order to imprison him like this. But I cannot wait to see Loki in action. He tells Luffy to state his name, and obviously Luffy, he doesn't state, but I'm Luffy, I'm going to be king of the pirates. And he's like, oh, you want to be a king? Well, this is the war land, the mighty kingdom of Elbaph. They say that this is the birthplace of war, and I am the sun god who will bring the end of the world. So obviously Loki, he's this crazy bastard, which is honestly not that surprising in different entities that Loki like has been in. So like Marvel and like just like Norse mythology, Loki's kind of crazy, so you know, it makes sense. And so I wonder if he claims that he's the sun god, like what fruit did he end up eating? Because you know, they said that he wanted a legendary fruit, and if that fruit was Luffy's, then he didn't eat it. So did he even eat a fruit at all? And if he did, then what was it? People were complaining, as I mentioned, about the first couple chapters of Elbaph. Oh, Oda, he was like, oh, y'all complaining, bet. And he put his foot on the gas. This was one of my favorite chapters, not just of Elbaph, but in this series, just like I said, and how everything was drawn, the scale, looking at the Yggdrasil tree, looking at Loki, his reveal, like when you compare, looking at him, you know, when Lola talked about like the silhouette that we had of him, everything in this chapter was amazing, and this setup for the next chapter is going to be crazy, which unfortunately we'll have to wait 2 weeks because we're on break. But it's all good. You know, that means a lot more breakdowns, a lot more talking about Loki, and just what everything means. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.